Alright, so today we're going to learn how to do the Andy Warhol cartoon pop art project, where we're going to take an image that we have worked through pop art. As we can see here, we're going to be using a portrait that we photograph here in class of one of our students. So you'll be working with a partner, 4 of you in a group. You'll all will practice photographing each other using the reflector, the gold and the white reflector. And then you're going to take that photo. You're going to follow the pop art assignment directions that I gave you in the past. So you're going to just completely follow those steps. And then once you've done that, then you are going to have this image, what you see in front of you. So from here, what you're going to do is you're going to save 2 new versions of this. So I'm going to say, I'm going to call this one, it's called Cousin Cartoon. Now I'm going to say Cousin Cartoon 2. And I'm going to save this. And then I'm going to save it again. And I'm going to call it Cousin Cartoon 3. I just called it that because this happens to be my little cousin who I did the example on. So I'm going to go back and open Cousin Cartoon. And then I'm going to open Cousin Cartoon 2 so that I have all my versions open. So if I come over here to Window and I pull down, I'll have Cousin Cartoon open, Cousin Cartoon, and then Cousin Cartoon 3 open. Okay. So I want to go back to my original one, Cousin Cartoon, not version 2, not version 3, just back to my original one. And note the colors I use. So I've got blue, I've got yellow, I've got red, beige, and brown. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into all my layers and I'm going to adjust the colors, but I'm not going to do it on my original layer. I'm going to go to my Cousin Cartoon 2 and I'm going to adjust all my layer colors by clicking on Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and I'm going to adjust the color of every layer here. I'm going to make that pink. I'm going to go over here and adjust the jacket to another color, green. I'm going to adjust the scarf to a new color, Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation. Okay. And I'm going to adjust the background. Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation. I'm going to adjust the background. Change the saturation, lightness on that. Okay. So now if I click on my original, there's my original. There's my new one. They're completely different colors. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Window, Arrange. I'm going to float in Window so that I can see how this one is different than my original. I want to make sure that no colors are the same. So now I'm going to come over here to number 3. I'm going to minimize that and going to come over to version number 3. I'm going to go in and I'm going to go to Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and again I'm going to change that out to another color. Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation, and change that. Go to layer 4, Image Adjustments, Hue Saturation. Make it there, okay. And then I'm going to come over here to image adjustments, hue, saturation, and I'm going to adjust the background to a different color. And then I'm going to just make sure that all my colors look different. I'm going to float them all in a window. Range, float all in windows. And now I'm going to just kind of look at them and compare them. I like to know where my third one went. There's my third. I'd like to know where my second one went. Let's bring that up. There we go. So I can kind of just compare them all here. Bring that a little bit lower. Alright, so I want to make sure that none of my colors are the same. I want to make sure that everything is different. Looks like this blue is kind of similar to this hat color. So I might want to go back on that blue on that hat and go to image adjustments, hue, saturation, and I'm going to make it really different. Okay. So I've got purple for the jacket, red for the jacket, green for the jacket. I got pink, yellow, and blue. I got very different backgrounds. Okay, I think I'm satisfied with my color changes on here. Okay, so now that I'm satisfied with my color changes, I'm going to need to go to step 3, which is create a new document, file, new, and I'm going to do, since my images are horizontal images, I'm going to need to create a horizontal document. So my width is going to be 10 and my height is going to be 8, and I'm going to do a resolution of 150, RGB color, okay. Now I'm going to go back to my first pop art image, cousin cartoon, and I am going to I need to resize this image to fit into the 8x10. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to my cropping tool. I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click clear. And I'm going to put a width of, let's see, so because it's a horizontal image, I'm going to reverse these. I'm actually going to put a width of 3.33 and a height of 2.66. So if I take my cropping tool in here, I can, crop most of it. Okay, so I'm not going to crop quite yet. I'm just going to look at this. Now, before I can crop this, I'm going to flatten the image. I need to merge all the layers together, because if I don't, then I'm not going to select everything and I'm not going to be able to copy and paste everything over, okay? So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to select it, move this around exactly the way I want it, and I'm going to go up to edit, first I need to crop it, okay? So I'm going to go enter and crop. Alright, so that looks good. So now I'm going to come over here to select all. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to come up here to edit, copy. I'm going to come over to my document and go edit, paste. Now I'm going to put this into here 3 times. Edit, paste. Each time making sure I put this into a new location, not next to the other one. Edit, paste. And I got to figure out, you know, where I want to put it. This is not right. There's definitely something wrong here. I'm going to have to figure out what I did, because these pictures should be fitting in here perfectly. So I'm going to delete this, I'm going to delete this, and I'm going to delete that layer. And I'm going to go back and look at my image. I probably forgot to... I'm going to actually come back here on the history, and I'm going to undo. Back to history, and I'm going to undo my cropping. Come back to my flatten image, okay? And I'm going to figure out what I did wrong. Aha! I forgot to put the resolution in. So you want to make sure you put 150 resolution when you go to put in your cropping. So now I'm going to redo that. Go ahead and crop this time. Go back to select all. Go back to edit copy. Back in here and go edit paste. Alright, now that fits there exactly the way I want it to. Edit paste. Maybe I'll bring that down here. Edit paste. We don't want any picture next to itself except for on the corners. Corners are okay. So that's fine. We can have it on the corner at one point. That's fine. So let's go back now to our cartoon number 2. We're going to go ahead and flatten that image. And then we're going to go in with our cropping tool and do the exact same thing we did before. We're going to come up to this and crop it. We're going to go to select all, edit copy, come back down to the untitled one and go edit paste, move that around so it's not next to itself, edit paste. Maybe we'll move that one up here to the corner. Okay. Now we'll come over here to the third one. Again, we're going to go up to layer, flatten image, use our little cropping tool to select it like we did before, and go up to select all, edit copy, come back to this document, go edit paste, move it in place, edit paste, move it over, and edit paste and move that one over. So we never want to have a picture next to each other, only at the corners is okay. So if we look here, we can check that out. There's no pictures next to each other. So now what we need to do is we need to make sure that all these pictures are in the proper place. And what I'm going to do is just look at this fully, a little more carefully, and then move this out of the way. Let's see, I'm gonna move my little history dude out of the way. Okay, so I can look at this, and I'm going to make sure I have my navigator window open because I want to navigate around in this a little more easily and move this over like this. Okay, so I can move it around. So I'm going to go Control Plus, and I'm going to look really close. I don't want to see any white in between my images. So what I'm going to do to select these images is I'm going to right click on them, and that one's layer 1. So it's going to be selected. And what I can do is move it over. I need to see it all the way to the edge of that white paper. So let's go Control minus. Alright, so that's the edge of the white paper there. And so I'm going to move this all the way over so I don't see any white papers. I move it in. I don't see any white paper on that edge. Control minus, go in. I don't see any white paper. So if I go Control Plus and look right up here, if I right click on this, it says layer 7. So I'm going to select layer 7. So now this entire layer is selected here. So I'm going to select that layer, I'm going to move it over so I don't see any white in between these. If I go Control Plus and look real close, I don't see any white in between these, so that's good. Now I'm going to move this one over. And I'm going to look at the top because I don't want to see any white on the top here, so I'm going to move that up. So if I look at that now, And I don't see any white on layer 1. I don't see any white on layer 7 at the top. Now I want to look at this one. Right click on that, layer 6. So if I go in a little closer, Control plus, go in a little closer, I do see a little bit of white in between there, so I'm going to move that over slightly. If I look at that again, go Control plus, look at that again. Okay, I don't see any. Now let's look at the top of the image. Control minus, go out. Could move that up just a tad bit. Alright, so this first layer right up here is all next to each other, so that's good. So now I'm going to check, go Control minus, I'm going to go out and I'm going to right click layer 8 here, so this whole layer is selected. If I look at there, I can see a little bit of white on the edge, so I'm going to move that over. Look at that again, looks pretty good. Now I'm going to check the top right up here. Okay, that's the top. Don't think I see any, but I'll just, yeah, I do see it's overlapping. Okay, I'll bring that down a little bit. Nope, now I see some white, so bring that back up again. That looks good. So now I'm going to right click and select layer 4 right here in the middle. This is layer 4. I'm going to check that. I see a little bit of white, so I'm going to move that up again. Don't see any white on the top. Now I'm going to look on the side here. Okay. Moving my navigator here on my side. I see a little bit of white, so I'll move that over. Okay, now I don't see any, so good. Now I'm going to come over here to this one. I'm going to right click on that, layer 3, so that layer 3 is completely selected, this one right here. So I'm going to move that down, no, up a little bit and a little bit to the left. Checking that out, that looks good. Now I'm going to come down to my bottom layer right here. Going to start on the left side, right click, layer 5. Going to check to see if my left side has any white on. Doesn't look like I do on the left side. If I go up, doesn't look like I have any white on the top, so that looks good. So now I'm going to come over here and right click on this middle one here. This happens to be layer 2. I'm going to move it over to the right a little bit. Oh, I see some white, so now I'm going to move back to the left. Don't see any white in between. Now I'm going to check the top here, move that up. Good. Don't see any white. Now I'm going to move this over, and I'm going to right click on this one, layer 9, and I'm going to move that one up because I do see some white there. Check that out, move it over a little bit. Looks pretty good. And then I'm going to go Control minus and look at the whole thing. Looks pretty good. So now I have my images, they're all 9 up, but I need to go in and add in some layer styles on these, so to change these up a little bit to just make them a little more interesting, the shapes in between. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here on layer 1, actually, yeah, right here on layer 1 at the top here, right click on, make sure I'm selected layer 1, which is right down now, it's selected down here. I'm going to double click on it, pull up my layer style dialog box, and I'm going to do a stroke. Double click on stroke. I'm going to do a color of blue that matches the hat, so I'm going to use my little eyedropper and pick up that blue in that hat and say OK. And I'm going to move that out. I'm actually going to bring the stroke on the inside, so click on the inside. And I'm going to move that in about 9 points so that I get a blue line all along this outer inner edge here, because I did the inside, so I'm getting a blue line all along the inside edge. And now I'm going to go inner glow, because I want to actually add a little bit of an inner glow on that line. So I'm going to bring the inner glow on the inside. You see that? And I'm actually going to change it to kind of a blue inner glow. Say OK. Maybe adjust the choke on that a little bit so I get like a nice little inner glow. Just opacity on that. So everything is on the inside, okay? That's why I'm using inner glow. On the stroke, I'm using inside position. I'm going to say OK. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this layer style. And all I have to do is right click on the layer 1 and go to copy layer style. And then I'm going to come over here and right click on layer 3 guess what? Layer 3 becomes highlighted right here on the layers dialog box. Going to right click on this and go paste layer style. It's going to put the exact same layer style in. I'm going to go over here and right click on layer 2. Guess what happens? Layer 2 is now selected. So what I'm going to do, add some more room in here, is go right click, paste layer style. So now layer 2 is now selected. So I'm going to do this for the rest of these. I'm going to come over here and right click on layer 6, and I'm going to actually paste the same layer style, but I'm going to go in and change the colors this time on this one because I don't want the blue. In fact, I'm going to repeat what I did. I'm going to go back to stroke, and I'm going to go back to color. I'm going to move this out of the way, and I'm going to click on that pink color and say OK. And then I'm going to come over here to inner glow, and I'm going to choose kind of a pinkish color for my inner glow color. I'm going to say OK. And I'm going to say OK again. Now I'm going to copy that layer style. I'm going to copy the layer style, come over here, right click on layer 4, paste, layer style, right click on layer 5, paste, layer style. Great. Now I have my last one to do. Right click on layer 9, paste, layer style. However, I want to go and change that information because I don't want my stroke to be pink. I want it to be green. So I'm going to click on my color and come over here and select my green. Okay, and now I'm going to go to inner glow. I want that to be green too. Let's say OK, OK. So now I'm going to repeat the step. I'm going to go to copy layer style. Right click on that. I'm going to go paste layer style. Right click on that, layer 7. I'm going to go paste layer style. So now I've got all my layer styles on my images, and if I back out, they all match up for the image. They all go together well because I've got green on green, blue on blue, pink on the pink hat, and then the inner glow all matches as well. So if we get in really close, we can see how it looks. And the corners should line up perfectly. If they don't, you can always adjust your layers some more. Okay, so if we right there, those corners line up perfectly. See, I'm going to get in really close. You see that? You see how those corners line up perfectly? That's exactly how they should look. And you might have to adjust your layers a little bit if they don't. So maybe that needs to go up a little bit. Maybe this one needs to go up a little bit. You can just go back and fine-tune that. Make sure your layers match up perfectly. That means that this layer now needs to move up a little bit to line up perfectly. And if I move that one over and check that corner, right click on this, right click on that. I can bring that down a little bit. Maybe move that one over a little bit. Up, over. Okay, they line up pretty good. So if I back out, the one that does not look very well is this one right here. So let's figure out what's going on. So this one is not lining up very good. So let's fix that. And layer 9 needs to move over and down a little bit. Up, over, up. Maybe layer 3 needs to come down. Layer 9. So you're just going to move them around until your layers line up perfectly. What's nice is you can just keep clicking on the layers and you can fix it that way. So if I go and look in here a little closely, they should line up. Okay, that looks good now. That looks good now. And let's check that one. That looks good. And those look pretty good. So, all right, so you will want to definitely fine-tune your layers. And then once you're done, then you can print it, okay? This is it. That's the final step. You'll have to change out your colors on all the 3 images and add layer styles around each of the boxes, and then go through and fine tune to make sure that everything lines up.